Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be going over the newest acquired Japanese ship in my fleet, and that is the carrier Akagi, which is also one of the event ships that's available for purchase right now. Um, Honestly, I've been staring at this ship in the game and not in my port for a long time, and I finally acquired her, so I was really happy about that. However, the ship itself is kind of underwhelming. She's not nearly as strong as I would expect. I expected great things since Kaga is so strong, and being a somewhat sister ship, not exactly the same, but close enough. Um, I was really looking forward to a good ship, but it's kind of mediocre at best. Before that, though, we did have a slight update yesterday. The main things are that the French destroyers are now researchable out of Bretagne down to Borasque, Aigel, Vauquelin, and Le Terrible. Again, we will not be reviewing them until all of the French destroyer tech tree line is out, so we are still waiting on Lafayette and Mogador, as well as T-47, T-52, and La Galissonière 1963, which were the ones that were shown in the developer dialogue about the French destroyers. So I still have some time before we go over those and more adjustments to American battleships. So it hasn't really been that long since we got the accuracy bonus, but now we have an additional repair party for North Carolina, Iowa, and Montana. So what does that look like? Well, let me show you. So we have the normal one. It's 25-second duration, 80-second reload, and unlimited use times. We have our repair here, and then we have another emergency damage control party, which lasts 25 seconds. It cools down in 1 second, and you can use it 3 times. But like I said, it's only 3 times. What I've noticed with this, however, is that it is perfect for going against carriers. So I've had 2 games, one in Iowa and one in Montana, where I was able to experience this new consumable. We'll show a video on it ourselves, but if you use this one, like let's say you're set on fire from a carrier dive bomb attack, you use this DCP to repair the fires. So it's on cooldown now for the next, 80 seconds? 80 seconds. So let's say it still has 60 seconds to cool down, and you get hit by torpedo attacks, which cause a flooding. You can instantly use this one, which cancels the flooding and lasts for 25 seconds, which also activates this one that also lasts for 25 seconds. Now, it's kind of redundant because you already repaired the flooding at this point, but it does reset the cooldown of this. So now it takes, after the 25-second duration is over, it takes 80 seconds for it to come back online. However, this one is back online in 1 second. So everything's good for the next 25 seconds as long as that duration lasts. And then 1 second later, this is back online. So let's say you get hit by dive bombers again. Well, you can immediately mash this one again and repair the fires, which again resets the cooldown of this one, but you immediately just put out the fires. And then let's say you get hit by another torpedo attack and another flooding is caused. Well, you have one last charge of this one, you mash that, reset the cooldown on this one, but for about a solid, what is that, 25? Yeah, for a solid 2 minutes almost, you are completely invulnerable to floodings or fires as long as you go back and forth between them. Which is kind of ridiculous, but it is perfect for going up against carriers because American battleships have really, really strong AA from 8, 9, and 10. So that'll give you an invulnerability period where you'll just be able to do massive amounts of damage to the carrier and potentially and probably sink it in that time frame. That being said, you will still take damage from the bombs and torpedoes. It doesn't do anything about that. It just fires and floodings, as well as any other things that you can repair, such as damaged guns, engines, steering, such things as that. Like I said, we'll do our own video, but right now it seems kind of overpowered. Not really sure why we needed it, honestly. I felt the American battleships were fine the way they are. They use their speed, good guns, and good AA, and overall decent armor to be effective in battle. I don't really see the need why they needed an invulnerability consumable, but you know what? it's cool. I like it. Um, we'll show a video on how it works. Now, back to today's video on Akagi. There she is at the bottom there. So similar to Kaga, she was built on a battlecruiser hull. Same with Lexington and Saratoga. So she is a big, tall girl. She is very easy to see, very easy to hit. So let's take a look at our stats first. 58,000 health, 22 torpedo damage resistance, which is actually pretty decent, I think. Armor up to 6 inches. A lot of that is, yep, on the belt there. I have a nice, huge armor belt, which will shatter some HE shells, but will just mostly armor piercing shells, and you'll be able to be citadeled and relatively quickly taken out. So try not to be spotted, and if you are spotted, try not to show broadside at all, because any little hit will probably citadel you. Speaking of citadel, I'm assuming it is above water. Actually, it looks like it is waterline, which may save you, but any plunging fire is going to go right through the 6 inches there and just completely destroy you. All right, let's see what else we have. We have a few secondary guns. How many do we have? 12. Well, we have a smattering of, yeah, here they are. Twin 127 guns here, AA. They're on this side as well. Yeah, there we go. Different models, interestingly enough. That might just be parts of it missing on this side. I don't know. And then we have some casemate secondaries down here as well. Now, I'm pretty sure these were actually 8-inch guns on the real ship. I don't know if that's accurate here or not. We can't, unfortunately, see the calibers of secondary guns. But these are either 6 or 8-inch, and I believe they fire armor piercing, but I haven't really figured it out because you don't want to be in secondary range with any of these ships. So, I mean, you have them there, but honestly, secondaries are secondaries on a carrier. They're not going to carry you unless you're, Graf Zeppelin or Hermes. Got a bunch of AA guns. The second hull does give us more AA guns, just to show you. Yeah, so we get 26 more planes and 14 more AA guns, which actually brings up to 20 because we only have 6 on the original hull. So the second hull is very, very important. AA defense, though, is, well, Japanese carrier. You have 40 DPS at 5.2 cam, or I might have a little bit of upgrade to that. And then 33 DPS in middle range. So you're really not going to be knocking down anything. We have 2 setups for aircraft. So the first one we'll be going over today. Actually, I haven't used this one, so it'll be fun. 1 fighter squadron, 3 torpedo bomber squadrons, and 2 dive bomber squadrons. And then the one that I haven't used is the 3 fighter squadrons, 2 torpedo bomber squadrons, and 1 dive bomber squadron. So this is more of a air superiority setup. This one is more of a offensive setup. So we have fighters we can increase. We got the Zeros. We got the B6 and Kates, as you can see here. Nothing really special about the aircraft. And then the duties here. Oh, speed of the ship. Forgot to go over the speed. She's 31.2 knots. So, I mean, she's not necessarily all that fast either. Normal consumables, defensive A. She does have the ground staff consumable that Robin gets, but it really all it does is reduce the preparing time of all squadrons from 60% of the current time. So, like the same thing with Robin, unless you use it at the very beginning of the game when all of your squadrons are reloading on your carrier, it's pretty much useless because not a lot of... By the time you have one squadron landed and you land the next few, the first one that was landed is already set and ready to be sent out. So unless you have like, oh, I need these torpedo bombers immediately, then you can hold on to it and then recycle them really, really quickly. But enough jabbering, let's go into a game and show you how she plays. All right, let's see what kind of game we have today. Ooh, a lot of ships here. So we got an Akagi, a Lenin, Richelieu. So Richie's got strong A, Kostroma, Wichita, Sverdlov, Kitakami, Baltimore. And then a few destroyers, Benson, and a Laffy. So all of them are those the same. Baltimore is dangerous, and Richelieu is dangerous. But besides that, we're fine. Right. So we got the 1 squadron of fighters, 3 squadrons of torpedo bombers, and 2 squadrons of dive bombers. First things first, I'm going to get all my torpedo bombers out, and then my dive bombers. Fighters are really not important. They're not going to do anything for you. Might as well just keep those around your own ship. All right, so we're going to head off over here. I'm going to stay out a little bit farther than I usually do, mainly because the ship is, as mentioned, very easy to hit and very easy to see as well. We didn't go over concealment, but you can see it is pretty sizable. All right, so the dive bombers actually ended up going out first. Now we got our torpedo bombers heading out. All right, let's put these together. And we're just going to wait for our aircraft to get over here. All right, so all of our squadrons are together. Fighters should be revolving around us. Yes, they are. Cool. But actually, let's come in a little bit more. All right, torpedo bombers come over here. Dive bombers over here. Right, so we got the Kitakami already. Not really a danger to me. She has extremely garbage anti-aircraft, so I should be fine just to attack her. But she does have the Wichita behind her. And there's a couple Bensons. Not really concerned about those. All right, let's try and drop this Kitakami. I thought that was pretty good, but we ended up missing somehow. All right, well, fine. We got our torpedo bombers over here. Let's try and get this Wichita, since that is a more dangerous AA target. And drop them like that. We are losing quite a few aircraft. We have 10 spare fighters, 31 spare torpedo bombers, and 21 spare dive bombers. And there we go. Those Wichita is down already. I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so do keep that in mind. So I am going a tad faster than I'm supposed to be, and I have a bit more health. Alright, but we already have one ship sunk. I'm surprised those... Ooh, we're getting... we got a couple hits on the Lennon as well. That works out in our favor. No flooding, though. We got the flooding on the Wichita. Alright, so dive bombers are about to come back out here momentarily. This Laffy is kind of getting close, but it's a bunch of cruisers and destroyers. Those can be... Actually, no, there is a battleship or two there. So we're actually going to come back this way. As much as I'm curious about these secondaries, I really don't want to find out the hard way. Alright, so let's put our dive bombers together. Kitakami did take some damage. Oh, Kostroma's going to go down right now. Honestly, these torpedo bombers are very nice, but the dive bombers are what's quite disappointing. Once these torpedo bombers are down, I'm actually going to reload, use that consumable, and just get them out as quickly as possible. Really not any good ships to use these dive bombers on right now. So I guess we're going to go for Richie, just because they're going to get shot down really quickly anyways. Okay, 4 hits and a fire. At least they were somewhat useful this time. What's our ship doing? Let's move a little bit more over here. Torpedo bombers are back up. Now we can actually start dealing some damage to these battleships. I am going to put my fighters around them as well as anti-aircraft bait, though honestly it doesn't matter because it's on the opposite side of the map right now. Alright, so let's try and drop the Richie here first, because she has the most AA. So if I get rid of her fast, then that means the more planes that we'll be able to keep. The poor Wichita. But she has trolley armor, so she'll be fine. Still losing the occasional aircraft. Japanese aircraft are not necessarily very strong. And there we go. Just one-shot battleship. There we go. Let's keep moving our carrier up this way. It's put our fighters around the dive bombers now. And we're going to go for an attack on Lenin. And then I'm not even going to try and attack the destroyers because it's honestly just a waste of time with dive bombers. If anything, I'll just let my team clean those up. If I have to, I would rather use torpedo bombers. And then we actually have a couple destroyers chasing down the enemy Akagi, funnily enough. Alright, let's see if we can get any damage on Lenin with our dive bombers. 2 fires. There's a second group, and we missed there. That's fine. I will actually take 2 fires. That's pretty good. Alright, our fighters are going to get taken down, though, relatively quickly. Oh, they actually survived. Surprising. You can see how quickly you lose aircraft. So if you aren't careful and you attack very heavy AA concentrated targets, you're going to lose a lot of planes and you're going to be deplaned relatively quickly. So let's put all of our torpedo bombers around one squadron, and let's attack this Lenin. Let's see here. Yeah, we do have 1 battleship left. I don't know if she's going to be able to just wipe out this Lenin before we attack her. Hopefully not. And that should be the end of Lenin here. There we go. Okay, dive bombers. Both of those destroyers are almost down, but the carrier is actually almost down as well, surprisingly. And Richie got the last destroyer. Yeah, it looks like Akagi is going to just burn down. Surprisingly, 2 destroyers were able to take down Akagi. Interesting. Probably with just gunfire, too. Alright, and that is the first setup for Akagi. So dive bombers, they do set the occasional fires. They did a lot better this game than the first game I played with them. But your main damage dealers are torpedoes, and don't even really try to have any air superiority. It's not going to work. But 170,000 damage, 3 ships sunk, 21 torpedo hits, 7 bomb hits, 2 aircraft shot down, 3 fires, 3 floodings. We were able to do 26,000 damage in fires and floodings. Torpedoes did 133,000 damage, and bombs only did 11,000 damage. So as you can see here, torpedoes are going to be your best friend. Well, torpedoes and fires, primarily. We were able to only attack 3 targets, but we did sink all 3 targets with a pretty decent amount of damage to all 3 of them as well. So that will be it for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe for further content, and join me next time while we go over the second setup, which gives us many, many fighters. So again, thank you and take care.